What up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? Shalom to all my peoples out there. Happy Sabbath, Israel. Happy Sabbath, Judah. Hope everybody's doing good, man. Today has been kind of a lazy day. I didn't really do much. I just kind of sat around. Didn't get out and do anything. Well, I did actually go out and do something. I went shopping. A friend of mine wanted to buy a phone, so I went and bought a phone, use a VAT card, VAT for it, for those who know what a VAT form is. But so today is the Sabbath. I got so much stuff going on in my head. Y'all give me a minute. I want to read something before I get started though. So what's up, Lulu? So we celebrated Juneteenth yesterday, right? It's a celebration of the slaves being so-called freed from bondage. It's 1865, supposedly, 400-year curse is over. How many of y'all read the Bible? Really, really read the Bible? How many of y'all, we gonna play the what if game, right? So I know I'm not gonna keep a whole crowd of people in here today because you know what, it's cool. I'm so done with trying to help people see the things or whatever, or to convince people. That's the worst thing you can try to do, is try to convince somebody, because they don't care. People take a stand on something, and when you interrupt their life, or you interrupt what they've been doing in life, then they'll take a stance against you. So let's play the what if game. You celebrated Juneteenth yesterday. If you did celebrate or you didn't celebrate. If you tomorrow going to church, which you claim is the Sabbath, what if all of these things were still wrong? What if you celebrate in your freedom prematurely? What if you don't understand and you don't have the desire to understand? But see, when people are sent to you to help you understand, you shun them and you call them crazy. What if these people actually know what they're talking about? So I'm going to read something for you. For those of you who want to read along, it's in Ezekiel. It's Ezekiel chapter 4, and it's verse 4. So this is the Most High is talking to Ezekiel. He's going to tell him something that we need to pay attention to, Judah. If you go and you read Daniel and go down through Solomon and all of these things, you start to understand something, that we are in parallel to the world that God has promised us. The Jews are supposedly in Jerusalem. They're not. Okay? All of this stuff has been paralleled to God's truth. But the problem is, the devil can't bring the peace that God said he was going to bring, and the love and all of the stuff that we need as a people. All people, not just black people, all people. So I'm going to read this to you. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 4. Bear with me. Lie thou also on thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel. Okay, these are the 10 tribes. The 10 tribes are the tribes of Israel. Then the other 2 tribes is Judah and Benjamin. Okay, listen. And lay according to the numbers of that day. And thou shalt lie on thy side, and shall bear their iniquity. So their iniquity meaning basically their sin. So he said, for I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days. 390 days shall thou lay bare in the iniquity. So he told him to lay still. I want you to lay on your left side for the punishment for Israel. Yeah? 390 days. The Bible, when the Bible talks about days, it means years. Not day, literal day. It means years. And it's broken down in the Bible where it says time times time times times and a half. And you have to do those numbers. And remember, in the Hebrew calendar, there's only 10 months, right? Even the months that's named, their name in Latin actually is a number. Those other months that's been added, August, for Augustus Caesar. Better do your history. July for Julius Caesar. See those two right there? The two first Caesars, Augustus and Caesar, Julius Caesar, which was Augustus Caesar's great uncle. Anyway, so he told them to lay down for your iniquities for 390 years. He told 390 days, but it was 390 years. It means for 390 years. And then, watch this. And when thou hast accomplished this, lie again on your right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. So what's 390 plus 40? Anybody? Do the math. 390 plus 40. It's 430. So 430. I'm giving you biblical science right now. The world wants you to listen to the world. It doesn't want you to listen to the Bible because the world gives you its version and the truth is over here. Right? It's right here. Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 4. And it lets you know that this world is not what you think it is. They're going to tell you these things. They're going to try to make you all celebrate something that you shouldn't be celebrating in the first place. How can you celebrate a day of iniquity, our transgressions against the Most High, and break his laws at the same time? Our people celebrate. They get together and they politic, and then the food comes out and they eating pork. One of the things the Most High said, don't touch. You cannot celebrate in the name of the Most High by eating pork. You know what I'm saying? And you come at people with these, I mean, I hear my brothers and sisters. I'm not talking about my family. I'm talking about my extended family, my brothers and sisters, and my daughter too. You know, it's hard because we have been put into a mindset that's adjacent to how we should be living. You know, I walked into the middle. See, I'm not perfect. I'm not exactly where I need to be, but I'm trying. I'm striving. So what if all of this stuff you've been told is complete opposite of what it really is? What if? Have you ever stopped to ask yourself these questions, or you just allow somebody else to give you their dosage of understanding without actually asking for the understanding that you need to proceed in life? We fail because of other people's ability, for the lack of ability to need to understand. We don't need to understand. We just need somebody to explain it one time. And if it sounds good, it hits the ear right, then it's good. How about this? Who said, do as thou wilt? Who said that? I'm going to do what I want. See how it breaks down? Can't nobody tell me what to do. You see how it comes down? Oh, you can't tell me what to do. Kids telling grown people, you can't tell me what to do. You're not my mother. You're not my father. It came from one person. He was a satanic man in the 60s, way back in the day. Way back in the day. I got to look him up. Do as thou wilt. Know what his sign was? Who you seen doing that all the time? And you know what that means? That's a devil worshiping sign. You put one eye in it that lets you know that these people are part of some type of cult. These same people that has your favor. You favor them because maybe they sing, maybe they dance, maybe they rap, maybe they're actors. These same people are tools. Just like I'm a tool. But I'm a tool for the Most High. So you see how if in their light I live as a pauper, I have nothing. They have everything that you supposedly desire. All I have is knowledge. All I have is a desire to follow. But not them. I can't exist in this world at that level. Not because I don't have the talent, but because the Most High don't want me there. So it's different. What if this beautiful skin that you're looking at is actually the skin of the people who came first? Adam, Eve. All of them. Cain and Abel. What if? What if this isn't a holy book? What if it's just a history book? Because there's a book in here called First Chronicles and Second Chronicles, and Genesis is basically generations, and it walks you down and it explains this life to you and the lies that you've been told and how you're going to accept these lies and what you're going to do when somebody tries to tell you the truth and what's going to happen when the person who's telling you the truth is cool and close to you. Told me what you're going to say to me before you even said it. Rejection. Shunning. This nigga don't know what he's talking about. Who? I know him. He ain't, see what I'm saying? This book. It's the best-selling book in the world. And in the end, God says that in the end of this book, he says, whoever changes his words, basically, he pretty much knew somebody was going to change his words. You know, we take for granted the small things that we've been given in this life until we don't have the small things anymore. And then when we don't have the small things anymore, we get nostalgic about it. And now we want those things. And our emotions tend to overpower us when we get those things again. We don't understand this life because we don't take the time to ask the proper questions. What if? I got friends. I'm about to close this book because this is going to go a different direction now. I got friends on both sides of the issues that's going on right now, and it's painful to watch. It's painful to hear. But I can't blame them because I've seen how to make a racist. In my lifetime, I've watched how to make a racist. It's a special ingredients that you do to make a racist. The first thing you do to make a racist is you give them privilege, right? The next thing, listen, I'm not talking about white people. You better listen to me carefully. You give them privilege. And you tell them they're not like the other people that are around them, that they're special. And then you reinstill and enforce that privilege by separating them from those people that you feel are lesser than them. This is not a recipe for white people. This is a recipe for all people. It doesn't matter. You have to understand how this stuff mentally affects people on both sides. How do you create a racist? You tell them that they're Gentiles. I'm talking about black people in particular now. You tell them that they have to love somebody else instead of loving themselves. You make them bow down. You turn them into a racist too. So we got racists on both sides and don't even realize it. It's just one thing is different. One racist has power and the other one doesn't. This shit is deeper than I hate your skin color. There's a lot of ignorant people who won't be able to hear this. But we have racist people on both sides. And then we have people who are over-opinionated and won't allow the truth to matriculate into their system. They just keep rejecting it because it's hard to hear things outside of your own, psyche. So this world is full of what ifs. Let's go way back to the end of the Civil War, when the South was pretty much occupied by the Northern troops. Give me a second. And things started looking up. The slaves were free. They started to be able to do things for themselves. They was actually in political office. They was striving. They was doing good. But see, the North looked at the South, the Southern men who had all of that money. See, this war was about money. It really wasn't about slavery, but it was about money. It was about money. So they looked at them and said, hey, if you be good, we'll let you go back and reclaim your property, and we won't punish you for what you've done. This is the first what if in my mind. If I go back historically and look at this, this is the first what if, because what if those men was punished for their war crimes, for what they did to other people? What if they was punished and they was never able to reclaim their properties and come back and create the new 13th Amendment and instead keep on with slavery, pretty much, indentured servitude? So many what ifs. What if Lincoln wasn't assassinated? What if Kennedy wasn't assassinated? This life is full of what ifs. Even you should have what ifs in your life. See, the thing is, you have to study. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake. It doesn't matter if you're successful, but be honest in your study. I know I've had failures in my life, and I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed of my failures. I'm ashamed of the comebacks. You understand? If I didn't come back, then I have nothing to share with people. And in this life, you have to be able to share with people because what we're getting, nothing but lies. So what if sounds better than the reality that you actually live in? You understand? What if is full of potential and it gives you hope? The reality that you live in is shitty. The Most High said, when the new covenant is on, that he will come and he will live with the people and they will not sin no more. There will be no death and his words will be in their heart, meaning they won't think anything bad. Everything that they do is going to be to glorify each other and to love him. You understand? Not glorify each other, but to uplift and help each other and to love him. So he said, and this won't happen. When it does happen, that Jerusalem will be intact, minus Gad. Because Gad is a cursed tribe, they're done. Those are the Native Americans. You better understand something. Not Reuben. Reuben is also a Native American, but they're the Seminole Indians. So he said that the trees and the food that we eat will be medicine. There'll be no more sickness, no more death. So let me ask you a question. What if you really believed in the Bible and you knew this to be true? Not believe, but you know this to be true because I know it to be true. Then who the hell are those people that's in Jerusalem right now? Why are people still being killed and murdered? Why are little children being raped and disappeared? Why are women disappearing and being raped? Why are men being hung from trees and all of this stuff? Why? Because we are not in the second covenant. And those people that are in Jerusalem are not the real Jews. What if? Understand that this life, especially at my age range, I'm like in this weird little groove, because when I came through, I used to go to church, Southern Baptist, praying and all of this stuff up in church, but I never felt like I belonged in there. And I didn't really feel like the people in there belonged because I saw those people. As a child sees things. A child sees you at your rawness, even when you try to hide it. A child understands these things because a child is very spiritually connected. You can't be living in two worlds. A child watches you live in two worlds. If you smoke, your child is going to smoke. If you do drugs, your child is going to do drugs. They see you. You setting examples, even if they say, I would never do it. You are setting examples for your children. If you're weak, your child is going to be weak. I grew up in an era where it was, hands-on parenting. So I'm kind of in the middle of these two different worlds, and I'm looking at people that's coming behind me, and they're weaker, and they're watered down, and they're so morally challenged. And then the people in front of me are beat the fuck down. You see? Every approach for every generation is different. And I'm just wondering, what was the approach for my own generation? Because you can never assess personal gains and strains when it comes to yourself, when it's in that generational gap, but you can see where you fit in, right? So I'm too hard and too mean for the generation that's coming up behind me, but I'm too arrogant for the ones that was in front of me because I don't accept that crap that they've been fed, right? And then the ones behind me, they don't have no concerns at all. They just go through life. You can tell this change by the music. Music used to mean something. People used to talk about issues in music. And now you get nothing but chants. And it sounds like devil worshiping shit to me. It is devil worshiping. It's been like that. One of my favorite artists of all time turned out to be a Satanist, and I had no idea. Just like the South was infiltrated. Check this point I just brought to you all the way back. The South was infiltrated by loyalists to the Confederacy, and it ended up building a second world in this country that was left to fester and to rot and to degrade the morals of the United States of America just to keep hope alive that the South will rise again. It's the same way that the devil infiltrated music and turned it against the people, because music is a tool of the Most High to uplift. We would sing and rejoice. Now the music has no love in it. It's empty. All the artists sound the same. They don't have no emotions in the music. It's just about the money and fame. That's it. The music ain't even good. They just keep playing it over repetitively and it becomes catchy. But it's deeper than that. This world is put into the hands of the wicked. I know you heard it before. Then why do you believe in the things and the tools and the crafts in this world? Why are you not trying to find a better way? What if you were? Maybe you are, because you're sitting here looking at me or listening to me. We are at war in our current state in this world. Not just war for you or your soul, but war that's being fought around us and we can't recognize it. Even though some of you swear you go to church and you love God and you this and you that. I'm starting to believe that's a lie. I feel like Maury up in this bitch. You said, survey says, that's a lie. So sometimes when I read, I do a little reading, I find something and I highlight it because it stood out to me. And then I ponder it. But there was one that was talking, so Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. Y'all probably heard this. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So, if you go back to Jeremiah, all of these things that's in here is talking about, blessings and all this stuff. And a lot of people, I think, misunderstood Yahshua. Yeah, Yahshua, not Jesus, Yahshua. What if we knew the real name? Right? A lot of people misunderstood Yahshua because he said he didn't come to save anybody, but he came to cause problems. Meaning, because like sometimes you have to make a choice in your life. I can't look for this right now. You make a choice in your life. And when you make a choice in your life, the first thing that happens is people start to look at you strange. And the more you talk about the choice that you made and the walk that you're taking, people start going in different directions. Whether they be family, friends, loved ones, people you know over 20 freaking years. They look at you and tell you that you're crazy. They tell you that you're strange. They give you theories about Darwin and all of this stuff. It's cool. I'm not going to knock you for what you think. And this is what you think. This is what you see. I get it. But you're not going to tell me that 2,500 years worth of predictions on point, that's not something that's just bad. And I mean bad in a good way. This is awesome. That you can ignore that. But you can talk about some of these men and women who, with their racist concepts, design science. The same people who don't believe in God is trying to crack the God theory. The same people who said that we all came from monkeys or fish, but you ain't seen a whole new monkey person or a new fish person come out of the ocean ever. You're going to take into consideration what they think, but you're not even going to try to read and enlighten yourself. I don't know. I've never really been what's called a Bible thumper, not in the sense of that it is a holy book. When I came into this knowledge and I started doing this walk in life, I came in here to debunk Christians. Look at me now. You know? And it's always one of those points where I think and I say, what if? There was so many points in my life where I could have never met any of you. What if God wasn't there for me? What if God didn't protect me when I was deployed? And I didn't have nothing to do with God. I was doing my thing. I was out there doing as I will, not caring. I think I was even studying Islam at the time. But the Most High protected me from all of these things. Everything that I walked through. He protected me from these evil white men that look at me and I know they wanted to do something to me because I had everything that they thought they should have. Athleticism, good looks, charm, charisma. You know, people love me. Ain't nothing worse than a likable nigga. But the Most High protected me. I've been driving, fell asleep on the Autobahn, driving a big giant truck. Almost ran off the road, but the truck stayed on the road. All kind of stuff I've been through. What if? See, there's a connection to all of us. One little ripple can affect you in ways that you could never imagine because there's one conversation that you didn't get to have that you might have needed to have. One key word that hit your ear just right to make you think, maybe I should, what if in this life? We are connected. There is no color lines. The color lines are something that we created. When it comes down to it, there are nations in this world. And of those nations, you have to learn out who you are. I can look at some of you and ask where you come from, do a little bit of history on you, and I could know who you are. But when I tell you who I am, the first thing in your mind is to placate what I said because you have been taught not to believe anything that black people say when it comes down to biblical stuff because their history started in slavery. Back to the Juneteenth thing. I don't celebrate that. I respect it. But it's not over. Because if it's 400 years that we're celebrating, then we still have 28 years to go. Hence the coronavirus. Because Judah is rumbling right now and they're waking up. So what's the best thing to do when you have an enemy that you cannot win? You can't beat us. You can't kill us all. You can't destroy us. And even if you do, the Most High is still going to raise us up. What do? You try to assimilate them and mark them without their knowledge. Coronavirus, George Floyd, all of this stuff ties in together. Was he a martyr for us? Or was he a martyr for the system? This stuff is deep because the devil don't play fair. Power doesn't want to give up power. Watch what's happening. The people that are under the scenes that are killing these black men, that are hunting black people, those people are evil. They're twisted evil. But the people who are orchestrating all of this emotional outrage that's going on, they're satanic. We're watching levels of stuff happening, but don't realize it. Ask yourself this. What if Tyree is making just a little bit of sense? You're not safe. You're next. You don't understand that. Just because you're white or black or in a good job or in a good neighborhood, you're not safe. You're next. And the reason is you don't believe the devil is running all of this world's government. You think that the Jews in Jerusalem are the Jews. You think that you're a good person because you care about something. You're next. When you start to care, you'll start to listen to the Most High, because he's not just accepting, the 10 tribes, the 12 tribes. He's taking all comers who are going to confess who we are and uplift us and show love for his son, Yahshua, who comes from the tribe of Judah. You're not lost. You're confused. And it's not your fault. The world brought you here and took all of the knowledge. You were sent here by the Most High. When you got here, the world attacked you from birth because it had already broke your parents. It had already broke their parents. And all it do is keep lining up the bullshit. Me and my dad was talking one day, and I told him, I said, this world, if I would have listened to my dad when I was growing up, because my dad, he was a good man, but he's had this world on his back for a long time, so he knew this world. But in my mind, I'm like, Dad, you're old. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing. This is a new world. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. It's the same world, just different tricks. If I had to listen to him, I'd be a gazillionaire or some shit. But then again, all of these blessings that I have, meeting all these beautiful people around the world and getting this knowledge would have been different. So, apples and oranges. I'm here now. I see now. I understand. So I'm out here now, and I'm stumping for the Most High. The funny thing is that people will try to knock you off your balance because they think that if you talk about God and you do this and you're trying to help other people realize things, that you should be perfect. That's wrong. This is what the world tells you in order to get in the way of that information void, to be a void for that information, better yet, to keep you from receiving this information. If the only way that somebody should be able to tell you something if they experienced it. If you ain't never smoked no weed, then how you gonna tell somebody else what weed is? If you ain't never did no crimes, how you gonna tell somebody else not to do crimes? You know what I'm saying? If you ain't never experienced these things, then how can you lead and teach? If you just perfect, then how can you do anything for your fellow man? Because that's so much pressure. That's why he sent us Yahshua to do that for us. He embodied himself in a human form, came down here to die for our sins in love and to wake up the people, to give them these knowledge and the stuff that's going on so we can have a weapon to fight, because this is the tool that was used to imprison you. Constantine said he had a dream, and in that dream he seen a crown, and in that crown was a cross. That was the first cross. Constantine. That's 325 AD was the era of Constantine. 325 years after Christ was killed. Constantine created the cross. Some of you who walk around here got crosses on your wall, got crosses on your necks, got crosses on your body. It's a torture device. It has nothing to do with Yahshua or the Most High. Really? You don't believe me? So one of the commandments said, thou shalt not have any engraven images. So what is a cross? What is the cross hanging on your wall? What is the cross tattoo? It's an engraven image. It doesn't matter if it's ink. It doesn't matter if it's wood, plastic, gold, silver, because the Bible covers that. And since I know some of you don't believe me, let's go to Exodus. See if I can remember where it is. I'm getting better with my memory or my mapping of the Bible. I gotta turn on some light up in here. Hold on. So I'm back. So I went off into Exodus. I want to see where God had, started talking to Moses, and he was telling him who he was. We was getting ready to tell the people who he was. I remember it, kind of sparingly, but I don't want to get it too wrong. He said, I am the Lord thy God, who have led you out of bondage from Egypt. Okay, the word Egypt is not a land, okay? They made you believe that it's a land, but it's not. Egypt means bondage. That's it. Because later on in Jeremiah, it says, and again, I will take you back into Egypt, back into bondage, this time on ships. I think I might have to go to my phone. I thought I had it highlighted. But either way, I'm doing a little bit more studying and a little bit more understanding, and I'm sorry, I just read something real quick. But this stuff is not, it's not friend friendly, if that makes sense. Because the stuff I want to talk about, my friends don't want to talk about. They feel like I'm being preachy. I don't know if I'm being preachy. I'm just talking from my heart. I don't know if I'm being preachy when I'm trying to share some love with you, literally trying to share some love with you. Love is not a physical thing. We think love is a physical thing. Lust is physical. Love is mental. Love is something that you give to somebody when you don't have to. Love is when you give something to somebody that you just got so much of, an abundance of, that you just have to share with them. And I have an abundance of the Most High, and I'm still learning. So I have to share with the people around you. You should be able to see my friendship and my love for you, and the fact that I'm talking to you about what's going on in my life and being raw about it and telling you that I was on rock bottom. And the Most High came and scraped me up with a putty knife, stood me back up, and helped me become whole again. I didn't do nothing but go where he pointed, and I'm here. So what if I stayed there where I was 2 years ago? Rolling around in my own stuff, wishing people would help me, looking for people to help me, hoping friends would help me, hoping loved ones would help me, begging for help in my own little way. What if I would have stayed there? But I didn't. I trusted the Most High. I posted some pictures of my nice little apartment. It's not my stuff. I don't care about this stuff. It's comfortable stuff. That's it. The Most High gave me an opportunity to go out here and earn the things that makes me comfortable. I didn't do anything but just go where he points me. What if I would have stayed there in my parents' house all sad? I probably would have just ended it all. And we wouldn't be able to have this beautiful conversations. See, every day you face with a choice. And fighting back is just like giving up. Because you fight back a little bit at a time and you give up a little bit at a time. The only difference is when you give up, some people end it abruptly and they're no longer here. Because fighting back takes a long time because you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. So every day is a fight. Don't worry about winning the battle. Win the day. Win the day. One day at a time, one step at a time. And the Most High lifted me up because every day I was worried that that was my last day. But the Most High lifted me up. So when I got to a point to where I surrendered to the fear, and I said, you know what? If this gonna be the last day, then I'm good with it. Because then maybe I reached the pinnacle of what I was supposed to do. But you're not finna hold me here in this place no longer. The Most High got me. And the day I did that, bro, I was released. I had so many panic attacks in the year that I got out of the Army until like 2018. I was going through it. Car got repossessed. All my possessions gone. I was emotionally attached to those things. I was emotionally attached to the thought that the world owed me something. America owed me something for serving in that military, but I was wrong. I loved God at that point. I still love God. I didn't blame God for what I went through. I turned around and blamed the people who have control over this wicked world and said, where's my part of this world? I did all of this stuff that you asked me to do. Where's my part of this world? See, I wasn't asking the Most High for my part of this world. I was asking them, just let me be a normal person. Give to me. Allow me to be. You hear the tone of my voice. I was angry and I was begging at the same time. Give to me. Allow me to be. Keep your promise. I was wrong. Why would I want to be a part of this wicked world? You see, you feel me now? You see why I led you to this? Why would I want to be a part of this wicked world? They don't want me to be a part of this wicked world because I can't bow down to that bull. I can't bow down to man raping somebody and not going to prison for it, being held accountable. I can't bow down to these politicians stealing and doing all of this stuff. I can't bow down to people being pedophiles and not going to jail. I can't bow down to somebody murdering somebody and then making them an excuse about their criminal history that happened 10, 15 years ago for the justification of you murdering them right now. I can't be quiet. But I was begging to be in this world because I wasn't in the understanding yet. I didn't come into the understanding into this moment that we talking right now, why I was rejected and shunned from this world. I wasn't even rejected and shunned. I was protected by the Most High because he didn't want me in that world. He wanted me to be able to talk to the people that need to hear me so I can have the fire in my voice so they can hear me. And the testimony that they see is real. They understand that I have walked this life. I have did these things. I thought I was owed something by people that I naturally rejected. I wanted my little piece of wicked cake, and I wasn't sure if I couldn't resist the temptation to eat it. And the Most High blessed me and made sure that I didn't get that affliction and be cast out like so many of my brothers and sisters are cast out right now. There's some of my brothers that come online and they hate themselves so much that it comes out because whether you be Mexican, black, white, you better learn your lineage. You better learn your blood. You better learn because your blood is what matters. It doesn't matter the skin pigmentation, even though the originals were black. We're not nowhere near the color or the tone of the originals. If you don't believe me, look at my hair and look at that lion behind me. We are the originals. The Most High protects you when you don't even know you need protecting. Some of us are going to fall to the wayside. It's already been said. But are you walking towards him? Are you trying to know? Are you just sitting here listening to me and thinking I got all the answers? Because I don't. I'm only like a flake of the stuff that's going on. The wonderful things that's going on in this world that the Most High are protecting his people. I'm just a flake. Just a little grain of salt. But it might be monumental because you know me. It is to me because I know me. And I seen what he done for me. So, happy Sabbath. We got 38 more years to go. Sometimes when I think about my family and some of the people that's gone, It's like they didn't get a chance to see this, but then you think about it when God said he going to raise back up the people. So this is judgment, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff going on, man, and it's beautiful. That's why I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid? Start claiming your power. Start releasing the trust in the Most High day by day. Win the day. That's all you got to do. If you win the day and you go out and win the next day, you start a streak and you just keep winning the day. When somebody tries to make you angry, remember they're trying to push your button. Win the day. When somebody does something to you that you know was wrong and they meant it with all their heart trying to hurt you, win the day. When you see our brothers and sisters dying in the streets because they're fighting for something that they really don't need, support them, love them, and if you can catch one of them, talk to them and say, hey, I'm going to help you win the day. Because what you're begging for is not what you want. You just don't realize it right now. Of course, we want to stop having people killed and murdered in the streets, but it comes with a contract that you don't want to sign with Satan. He's setting us up. You got to learn how to fight and win the day. It's spiritual warfare. It's chess, not checkers. It's rocket science on the 3rd degree. So that's it for me. Me and Beethoven chilling. I really thank you all who stayed in here and listened to my little rant. Just remember, what if? Whatever situation you get in, whatever you've learned, there's another side to it. I heard something today. I was watching a movie. I was watching something. I was watching a court case, and the dude said, where he comes from, you know, the people talk about these things. Anyway, let me get to it. He said, it doesn't matter how thin a pancake is, there's 2 sides to it. So they trying to flatten out and whitewash everything and flip it over. There's 2 sides to every truth. All right, y'all. I love y'all. All praises to the Most High. Shalom. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. And if the Most High rests on this day, then so should you. Much love. I'm out.